That's a lot to live up to. I definitely did not tell him to introduce me that way. But thanks anyway. Can people hear me? All right, so I'm going to tell the story of when I joined the U.S. Air Force. Has anybody here been in the military before? Any country? Yeah? Okay, so maybe one person will get some inkling of what I'm talking about, the back end. I was not very sociable in high school and college. I was always kind of like the shy kid. I didn't really have a lot going for me. As far as friends, I was always kind of in the background. And I thought when I went to college that would all clear itself up. Like I'd be like, I'd come into my own, I would like have this flowering of youth, and I would, sow my wild oats, and none of that happened at all. I went to college and I got even more shy and even more introverted, and I couldn't really figure out how to get out of it at all. So I ended up spending a lot of time in my room, not going to class at all. I was actually nocturnal at that point. I actually kept waking up later and later until finally I was waking up at the beginning of the night. And then I would go out and scrounge for food at places that were still open. It was a pretty dark time in my life. I would say I was kind of like a vampire, but vampires are generally cool, and I was not at all that. So I had to make a change. I had to figure out what I was going to do. And it wasn't really obvious because, I didn't really know what I was doing when I went to college, obviously. So I wasn't sure what to do now that I was having to leave it. I got back home to New Jersey and my dad said, hey, we're not going to send you back there, you're just wasting our money. And I was like, yeah, that's a smart choice on your part. But I have to figure out something that I want to do with myself. So I started doing research with friends and on the fledgling internet. Back then, this is before digital nomad was really an option. So if you had a good idea, you couldn't really just go run with it and live abroad in Lisbon. Not that I was going to do that anyway. But when your life falls apart, one of the things that you can do is join the military. And so I was looking at what service to join, and I decided on the Air Force because one, they have the best food. True story. We had lobster at basic training. We had like 3 minutes to eat it, but it was delicious. And two, they have like the lowest KIA rate in the military services. KIA is killed in action. And I was like, I don't really want to go. I'm not like that gung ho, but I want to go there and maybe learn something new. So that's just the first of many acronyms, by the way. The military is like the most acronym-heavy environment you will ever find yourself in. So I decided to go to join the Air Force. I went to the recruiting office and I told the guy, hey, I was in college, I didn't know what I was doing, now I'm out, and I'm probably going to join, just tell me what the options are. And for him it was like Christmas, because that's like their dream. Because they're trying to recruit people all day, they have quotas to meet, so I was like a fish on a hook, it was great. And they told me that you have to start by taking a test, and the first test is the ASVAB, which is Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery. Yeah. There's more, they're gonna keep coming. And that's like an SAT kind of, it's like a basic test to just see where you're functioning. And I did pretty well on that, so they gave me a second test that's called the DLAB, which is the Defense Language Aptitude Battery. And that is actually to test your ability to learn languages. So it's not your ability in a language, it's the ability to learn languages. And it's a really cool test actually, if you can get a chance to take it online somewhere. I'm not sure if it's available, but they actually make you learn in the course of an hour and a half a whole new language. It's like a fake language. It sounds vaguely like Arabic, but it's a fake language, and then you start with one word, and by the end they're talking to you in paragraphs and asking you to like pick out very specific information about it. And everyone leaves the test feeling like they failed. Like everyone walks out saying, I guess I'm not going to be a linguist. So, but I actually did okay on that test also. So they offered me the opportunity to be a cryptologic linguist was the title in the Air Force. And so I joined, and the next step was basics training. And so we went to basic training, which was in Brooklyn. No, sorry. We went to MEPS first. There's another acronym. MEPS is Military Entry and Processing Station. And you have to do all these tests like duck walk and make sure you're not flat-footed and pee in a cup, all the stuff that you normally do at a doctor. And then finally they sent us off to basic. And when I got to basic, it was like a really rude awakening. I mean, it's the first time in my life, or anyone in that situation's life, where you have no autonomy whatsoever. Whatever you had, like that's still in its like budding phases because you're 18, I was 20, is stripped away. So everything that you do is decided by someone else other than you. You don't have any choices. They tell you when to eat, what to eat, when to drink, what to drink, how much, usually water, and they tell you all the things you're going to do. Your day is organized concretely from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, and there's nothing you can do about it. And that's terrifying for most people. Like the first night there, you could hear lots of like pinpricks of crying. Nobody wanted to cry during the day, but at night, when the lights went off, you heard the sobs butt up. It was fun, but everybody got used to it. Actually, everybody got pretty used to it pretty quickly, and by the end, it was actually a pretty positive experience. You know, you get yourself really in shape. You are learning some new skills, and I actually excelled at it, which was weird for me because I'm not really like the military-minded person. But I ended up doing really well in that environment, and I think it was because the structure was such that whatever you did was decided before you even started. So all you had to do was do exactly what they told you to do, which is not hard. It may not be like a good recipe for success in life, but in that situation it works really well. And so I did fairly well, and I ended up being like an airman leader, and that was cool because it was the first time in my life that something like that had happened. So why am I telling you all this? I'm telling you because when I was there, I started feeling like this sense of thriving, you know, and at first I couldn't tell what it was from. Like I knew it wasn't because I was happy. It wasn't really happiness because I don't think it's possible to be happy in basic training. But it is possible to thrive there and to be really comfortable and feel settled inside of yourself. And what I realized was that it was the first time that I put into practice the idea that you can behave your way into different moods, into different states of being. Right? So if you're feeling bad, a lot of times the advice you give yourself is, I feel shitty, I gotta feel better. And you just tell yourself to feel better, and then you try really hard to feel better, and then you fail, and you feel worse because you're failing at that and feeling better. So for this time, I realized that if you actually start to just do the things that make you feel better, then you will improve naturally. Like your mental state improves without you trying to. And so basic training, as weird as it was, forced me into a place where you had a regimented schedule. You had to wake up every day at the same time. You had to go do these things. Everything was decided for you. And so it actually was like a really healthy lesson to learn. And that I've brought into my life as a digital nomad now, which is having to impose some schedule on myself. I realized sometimes it's good to be strict with yourself because otherwise you're not going to get anything done. And you're going to feel shitty. So the Air Force actually helped me out despite the fact that it was not my favorite thing to do. And basic training was an experience I think everybody should go through if you get the chance. That's the end of my story.